What is going on, my peeps? Your boy Versatile is back with another video. Back, yes, with a comparison of the Galaxy S20 made by Samsung versus the Pixel 4 made by Google. Yes, only about 6 months or so apart from one another. The Pixel 4 came out in, was officially on sale in October of 2019. Meanwhile, the Galaxy S20 just went on sale March 6th. So what are some of the differences and the similarities between the phones? Well, before we get into that, make sure you guys ignite that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure you guys hit that notification bell so that way you guys get informed when your boy drops videos. So now let's get into some of the similarities. Well, some of the similarities is they both got a power button and a volume rocker on the sides. You guys start off with some of the simple stuff, right? So as you guys can see here, volume rocker and power button on the sides, just in inverse, meaning the Pixel 4 has a power button on top of the volume rocker and the Galaxy S20 has the power button on the bottom of the volume rocker. They both feature multiple cameras, albeit the Pixel 4 only has 2 cameras, whereas the Galaxy S20 has 3. The 2 cameras that the Pixel 4 has is the telephoto lens and the main 12 megapixel shooter. Meanwhile, the Galaxy S20 has a main shooter, like a main wide, at 64 megapixels, but it pixel bends down to 12 megapixels. And then the other 2 cameras are 12 megapixels apiece, one being an ultra wide, one being a telephoto lens. They both take very good photos, but the Pixel 4 and really virtually every Pixel period is going to be on top of their game in terms of picture taking. Meanwhile, the Galaxy S20 and S20 Plus do a very good job at taking pictures, even arguably better than the Ultra as of right now, due to not having as many plagued camera issues. Now, what is another similarity? They both run Android 10. It's what you would call stock or vanilla, but it's not even that anymore. Google has their own taste of the original Android, and Android 10 being on the Pixel 4 here runs very, very smoothly, runs very good. I'm telling you guys, if you want a pure experience and one of the best software experiences on Android, it will be the Pixel 4. It's just too good to be true in terms of some customization tools within the launcher, as well as the fluidity and the stable support you get from Google. Now, Android 10 runs on top of Samsung's custom launcher known as Samsung Experience, and even further to be called One UI, and you get One UI 2.1 with the Galaxy S20. Again, runs smoothly and flawlessly. I love this thing. It's again, Samsung continues to get better with their software, therefore their experience continues to improve and is easily an alternate launcher or Android experience you could get outside of the Pixel 4. Now, what is another similarity? Well, they both have face unlock, but the Samsung's face unlock is 2D, whereas the Pixel 4 has true face unlock technology up here at the top, which creates it to be 3D iris scanning. I believe Samsung's Face ID also has iris scanning still. That's something that they've always had. But I don't think I don't think it actually does anymore, just because it's down to that one camera module, so they don't have the tech in it anymore. But you can make it study your face a little more by turning off faster face recognition within your settings to actually get like a more authentic face unlock experience. But since I know I'm going to be the only one really carrying my phone, I don't have to worry about nobody trying to use my face. I just have it on faster face recognition. Face unlock here is even faster than Samsung's, faster than Apple's, you could say. It's very good. Now, they still haven't sent out the update for the iris scanning to take effect within their face unlock, but it is still good and it's very solid. Now, what are the differences? There's going to be a lot of differences. One, this Galaxy S20 is brand new, right? It's brand new, just came out. Pricing is different. It starts at $800 for the smaller Pixel 4, starts at $1,000 for the base S20, which is what I have here. And of course, prices drop down on the Pixel probably this year, and you'll continue to find like $100 off, $200 off in terms of deals. T-Mobile was running like a 50% off at one point for the Pixel 4, and I took advantage of it to get the Pixel 4. I actually traded back in my Pixel 4 XL to get the Pixel 4 because I like the size of the phone. Whereas Samsung is going to be running BOGO deals over the course of time. Buy one, get one free, buy one, get one half off for the Galaxy S20 series. And speaking of size, they're not too far apart in terms of width. Like if I take this phone and then I take this phone and I put it on top, you guys actually can see that you guys might be able to see just a little bit that the Pixel 4 is just ever so slightly thinner, and that's just because it's simply a smaller phone as well. Rocking at 5.7 inches, it's gonna be very handleable. It's gonna be narrow. You can reach across the phone real easily, no matter how you have to perform hand maneuvers, and it feels good. I thoroughly enjoy the size. I would also enjoy the iPhone 11 Pro size, no matter 5.8 inches. But the alternative is this 6.2 inch for the Galaxy S20, and this likewise feels good, and it's more narrow, which helps with reaching across the screen. And the way it's curved in terms of design, you can reach over with no problems. And then when I stand, well, I don't want to say stand them, but when I do this, it's a little easier for you guys to see just how different they are in size. So if I kind of match them up on the bottom there, you'll see it's ever so slightly taller for 6.2 inches, and this would be a 5.7 inch, but that's in terms of display. Really, the Pixel 4 in total is probably about 5.9 inches, 5.8 inches, 5.9 inches in terms of size. For this to be 6.2, and you guys saw just a hair of a difference, and that's because of the top bezel you get, because Google has their other face unlocking and other good cool hardware tricks in their top bezel there in the Project Soli chip known as motion sense, and that's where you get to use hand gestures to control music, pause and play music, snooze the alarm and all that fun stuff with the Pixel 4. That's a feature that I actually like, and I'm glad that they added the new feature with the March's Pixel drop. I dropped the video on that not that long ago. If you guys are interested in checking that out, go ahead and run through my videos and you'll see it. Maybe I'll put a card up here at the top somewhere for you guys to check that out after this video. But yes, I'm glad that they're investing in that, and it sounds like there might be some more features later on that will be added, and hopefully the Pixel 5 will have that feature. Now, the Galaxy S20 does not have the true face unlock or the Project Soli or motion sense, but it does still have the fingerprint sensor, as you guys saw. You get multiple ways to get in. Of course, always on display, they both have. I can do that, and I'm into my device with no problems. I can use either or, and it locks the device with no issues. As I said, always on display is nice. You can customize always on display to not be on all the time. And motion sense with the Pixel 4 specifically, you can actually utilize to be aware of when you're close to your phone because of that. I forgot how. I think it was about 2 feet or so, but it's got this radius around the phone that it can sense your motion towards the phone, and that's what you can use to activate your always on display with the Pixel 4, whereas with the Samsung Galaxy S20, you can just tap it once, you can have it on all the time, and you can still use your fingerprint sensor with the always on display. What else is different? Battery size. So battery size for these phones, half an inch being the difference in size, even though you really can't see in terms of this, half an inch in terms of display, but in terms of total body footprint, it's not that much. The battery on the Pixel 4 is 2800. Of course, nobody denies wanting a bigger battery, but you cannot deny software optimization and battery optimization to get the most out of the current battery that they put in it, and Google excels there. I know a lot of people try to say that it doesn't have great battery life, but again, it is based off each personal use case, but it also depends on what you're doing with your phone. Like if you're using it as you would say a quote-unquote normal person would, it's texting, some social media, maybe play a game for maybe, half an hour to an hour at most, watch some video on it, make it through 12 to 15 hours out of the day before you having to recharge your phone. That's typical use of a smartphone, and the Pixel 4 and the 4 XL for that matter handles that perfectly. The Galaxy S20, the base unit has 4,000 milliamps, the S20 Plus has 4,500, and the Ultra has 5,000. And no matter which phone you get, you're going to get superb battery life. Even with both of these features, these phones features the exclusive refresh rates that they both offer. Pixel 4 tops out at 90 Hertz. You can force that on and it will work in video games. The Galaxy S20 has 120 Hertz. And I kind of haven't really seen it in video games, or at least in my main game that I play. But even with 90 Hertz on and with 120 Hertz on the Galaxy S20, they both still get quality battery life. And so that's one of the things that is very good, because for a feature that you are promoting, you want to make sure that the phone can handle it, and the usability of your experience with the phone will not be tarnished because of your refresh rate. Now, this phone tops out at 1080p. This phone tops out at QHD. I thought the Pixel did top out at QHD, but maybe that's the bigger Pixel, or maybe they just both are 1080p. Either way, it's not a big deal to me. I think for phones, the Ultra is slightly different, and even for that matter, the S20 Plus. But to me, QHD isn't all that visible unless you have a bigger size display, like a tablet or something like that, or in the Ultra space of 7 inches. So 1080p, 120 Hertz is just fine. It's just fine. Now, what are some of the other hardware differences? Well, you get 6 gigs of RAM with the Pixel 4 series. You start off at 12 gigs of RAM with the S20 series. The S20 in particular having 12 gigs of RAM. Storage, you get 64 or 128 gigabytes with the Pixel 4 series, and you get a minimum of 128 gigs of storage with the S20 series with expandable storage. So you can still expand it up to 1 terabyte. So that's also nice, because you don't have to worry about, oh, I like that smart stay, by the way. You don't have to worry about storage on this device. Now, my Pixel 4 rocks 64 gigs because I got it through T-Mobile, and they did not offer the 128 gigahertz or gigabytes. Sorry, tongue twister. I don't know why T-Mobile didn't do that, but I have not struggled with space, even keeping my original quality photos through Google Photos on the Pixel 4. I've not struggled with space. I have not struggled with space with the S20 because, of course, I also just got it. And I've been waiting for Samsung to issue out that new camera update at the time of this video being shot, which is March 12th, 2020. The update has not dropped for the Galaxy S20 series yet. So I have not went bonkers with the camera yet. But nonetheless, when it does come, whatever incremental improvements it adds to the camera, I won't have any problem with storage still, because of the amount of storage I do have, and I can expand upon that. The chipset that each of these run, Snapdragon 855, very good, very quality processor. Snapdragon 865, very quality, very good, speedy processor. The difference being that the way Qualcomm also developed the 865 chip, it comes with the 5G modem separately, but you have to buy them as a package. So the S20 is defaulted with 5G, and most likely every phone this year will have 5G if they're opting for the Qualcomm 865 chip. Whereas the Pixel 4 does not have 5G, nor is there a 5G model out yet. So you get 5G with the S20, but you get sub-6. You do not get millimeter wave. The S20 Plus and the Ultra do have millimeter wave on top of the sub-6. So what are some of the other things you can do with these phones? Okay, I did not say to do all that. If I show you, I forgot that. Forgot about that. Outside of that, it's just experience. If you like Samsung devices, if you're used to Samsung's ecosystem, you're going to thoroughly enjoy the Samsung Galaxy S20, because it's a It's the delight to use with the plethora of features Samsung gives you, and you don't have to use them all. You can use specific ones tailored to your needs. Bixby routines is one of the special ones that really come in handy when you want to get a little more granular in terms of the control and customization of your phone. Google's Assistant has routines as well that you can use, and you can use hot words to activate certain things within the phone. I have a couple that I can use for like when I go to the movies. With the Google Assistant, I can say like, you know, movie time, and it'll silence my phone, and then when I'm done with the movie, I'll say movies off, and then it'll return sound to the phone. Whereas here I can have Bixby routines kicked in to where like I'm at a movie location like a theater, and it'll cut off the sound for me. Or I can use the same Google Assistant routines that's within Assistant with my Galaxy S20. So that's also the nice part about the Google Assistant, is it's not just exclusive to the Pixel 4, although you do get a faster Google Assistant with the Pixel 4 series. But the features that you get with the Assistant, you can still use as long as you're using your Google Assistant with the S20. So those are the large differences and some of the similarities between these two phones. To me, of course, the S20 is newer, but it is also $1,000. So I mean, they're both relatively expensive. There's only $200 difference between these two in particular. And if you get the XL, if you want to get close to the S20 size, the Pixel 4 XL being 6.3 inches, you're looking at $900 or $1,000 for the 128 gigs. So at 128 gigs, 6 gigs of RAM, no expandable storage, no 5G, 90 hertz display though, and good face unlock, good Google experience, it's almost more comparable with the Pixel 4 XL versus the S20 than it is the Pixel 4 versus the S20, because this is a smaller brother. Although you get the same feature set, it's just smaller body size. So the Pixel 4, $900 and 128 gigabytes with 6 gigs of RAM and all that other good jazz. It's still comparable. I mean, you'll ultimately get better battery life out of the S20 just because it's a larger battery and it's newer. So you're getting even that much better battery optimization or quality out of the processor. But outside of that, it's hard to say which one I could recommend. I mean, if you're all about Google, no doubt get the Pixel 4. If you're all about Samsung, get the Samsung. If you want to try something different, they're both equally good to be swapped in for the other. As I've experienced so far, I really love using the S20. I try to make time to use the Pixel 4, but I really like going back to the S20. But again, my big draw to coming back to Samsung's phones is their tablets. I use the Tab S6, and I love being able to jump right into a Galaxy S series phone or Samsung phone nonetheless, and be very familiar with their software and the layout, the structure of it. And unfortunately, I've not used any Google tablet, let alone the Pixel Slate, as much as I wanted to. And maybe had I used it, maybe I feel the same way about that. But even then, the Pixel Slate seems to be slightly disconjointed in terms of ubiquitousness, you could say, across the phone and the tablet, whereas everything feels very similar with the phones and the tablets with Samsung, much like Apple's ecosystem. So that's my comparison between the two. You know, if you're looking for a cheaper phone, that's also why I could recommend the Pixel 4. If you're looking for a newer phone and you don't mind spending $1,000 and you want a lot of features, just in case you need storage, this, that, and the third, the S20 is a guy. I mean, either way, you're not losing on these phones because you're getting good experience out of both phones. But that's it for this video. Hope you guys appreciate it and enjoy. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think about either device. I'd love to know. And again, if you haven't already, ignite that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. And make sure you guys hit that notification bell so you guys get informed when your boy drops videos. But that's it for this video. Your boy Versatile signing out. And until the next video, wait for it.